In Franklin County, Virginia, the police were supposed to stop illegal moonshine. Instead, some officers allegedly collected monthly payments from the men making it. The people who paid were protected. The people who refused could be raided, arrested, and driven out of business. Caught inside this system were three brothers who would later become the inspiration for the movie Lawless. How did one Virginia county turn Prohibition into an organized business involving moonshiners, police officers, politicians, merchants, and murder? This story takes place in Franklin County, Virginia, during the late 1920s and early 1930s. Prohibition made the manufacture and sale of alcoholic beverages illegal, but it did not eliminate the demand. In rural communities, illegal distilling became a way for farmers and working families to turn corn, sugar, and labor into money. Franklin County's mountains, isolated roads, wooded areas, and long tradition distilling made it an ideal place for illegal whiskey production. Large quantities of sugar cane, canes, and other supplies moved through the county. This caused Franklin County to gain a national reputation as one of the most active moonshine-producing places in America. Our story starts with three brothers named Howard, Forrest, and Jack Bondurant. These brothers would produce and transport illegal liquor and become part of the county's local folklore. Forrest Bondurant was remembered as physically tough and intimidating. Family stories claim that the brothers survived so many injuries that they were thought of as being indestructible. Making whiskey was dangerous, but the greatest threat was not always getting caught. It was refusing to cooperate with the people who controlled who got caught. The Bondurant brothers want to earn money, operate independently, avoid arrest, and not be controlled by officials or rival moonshiners. Jack is the youngest of the three, and he wants to be respected by his older brothers and prove himself to the world. He doesn't want to be the inexperienced little brother that has to be told what to do. He wants to share the money and the reputation of the family business. The county's corrupt officials want control over the local liquor economy. They want to collect protection payments every month, political power, and the ability to decide who can operate a moonshine business in their county. The officials didn't want moonshine eliminated. According to testimony, the system was more profitable when moonshine continued under their control. Depending on who you were, you'd be charged between $10 and $50 per still a month. Those who paid would receive warnings about raids, protection from arrests, and the ability to continue operating. Your agreement worked as long as everyone paid. The trouble began when someone decided that the law was not entitled to their share. Officials reportedly divided the county into districts, collected the monthly fees, and kept track of cooperating moonshiners and targeted bootleggers who wouldn't participate. One of the strangest allegations was the confiscated liquor and equipment could be resold. This meant that whiskey could potentially create profit several times. The moonshiner paid protection to produce it. Officers would confiscate it in a raid, receive the credit, and then sell the same liquor back to them. According to Franklin County newspaper records, during a robbery of his restaurant by a couple local thugs, Forrest Bondurant's throat was sliced from ear to ear. Forrest famously showed up at a hospital roughly 10 miles away in the snow, gripping his own neck. When doctors asked how he got there, he claimed he walked. This incident earned him the title of Rasputin of the Hollers. On December 19, 1930, Jack and Forrest were shot during a confrontation with deputies near Magotty Creek Bridge. Authorities claimed that the brothers were transporting a large quantity of liquor and offered deputies money to allow the load through. Deputy C.L. Rakes was indicted for maliciously shooting the brothers. Deputy Thomas Jefferson Richards was believed to have information about the conspiracy and have kept records connected to the protection payments. Before he could be called in as a major witness, he was murdered while transporting a prisoner. His vehicle was struck by bullet rounds and buckshot. Richard's death was widely connected in the public mind to the conspiracy, although the full motive was never conclusively established. The Commonwealth had an attorney by the name of Charles Carter Lee. He was a prominent and local prosecutor and powerful political figure who was accused of helping manipulate the legal system. Witnesses accused him of contradictory roles of prosecuting liquor violations locally while representing some defendants in federal matters. Lee was tried but acquitted. The conspiracy might have continued indefinitely if the federal government had not began assembling witnesses, financial records, shipping records, and testimony from inside the operation. Federal authorities began reconstructing the county's moonshine economy through witness testimony, sugar and grain purchases, store accounts, information from distillers and drivers, and evidence connecting officials to the illegal trade. The enormous quantities of moonshine moving through Franklin County helped show that this was not a collection of isolated backyard stills. The conspiracy case became one of Virginia's largest and most complicated criminal proceedings. The trial lasted 49 days, had more than 200 witnesses, and around 36 defendants made up of law enforcement officers, public officials, merchants, and liquor operators. 20 defendants were convicted after the trial, and the rest entered guilty or no contest pleas. Before the investigation, the liquor system operated through secrecy, fear, cooperation, and local power. The trial forced the county's hidden relationships into public testimony. Numerous defendants were convicted, but the total punishment was relatively limited compared with the scale of the alleged operation. Combined prison sentences reportedly totaled only around 18 years. The federal government established that millions of dollars in liquor taxes had been avoided. Some convicted participants allegedly returned to illegal activity or remained influential in the community. The official transcript disappeared from the courthouse. Researchers have attempted to reconstruct the proceedings through newspaper coverage, interviews, family accounts, and partial documents. But what about the Bondurant brothers? The brothers survived the Prohibition period and became local legends. Their reputation grew because of Forrest's throat injury, the bridge shooting, the Moonshine stills, the refusal to disappear quietly, and the secrecy surrounding their lives. Thank you for taking the time to watch and like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support the channel, you can join our Patreon and pick up merch at the eclectichistoricalsociety.com. With that being said, this is the Eclectic Historical Society, and remember, history is lost if it's not repeated.